What's up, Virgo's person? This person's tired of being stuck in indecision to a certain star, but they're obsessed, right? They see you as their light. They're obsessed with understanding you, right? So why you walked away, yeah, immaturity, right? They're obsessed with why you walked away, why you changed, why you didn't chase, right? Because Virgo, you broke this person's pattern. You broke their pattern. They expected you to tolerate them more, right, Virgo? They expected you to tolerate them more, but you didn't, right? So when you didn't tolerate them, it forced them to confront their own behaviors, their own patterns, their own ways of operating, right? Now they're stuck between pride and what and what should be the urge. Yeah, this was spark. Yeah, you're not speaking to this person right now. Silent, right? But this person's obsessed. Libra, Libra. Let's see, Libra's person. So for those tuning in, we're live on YouTube. Yeah, Libra, they this person's acting like they moved on, right? They're acting like everything is fine, but energetically they're heartbroken, right? They're heartbroken that there's no more passion, right? They're still tied to you, right? But there's no movement right now, right? This is someone who they avoid emotional depth, right? They avoid emotional depth. So it's instead of processing the connection, they distract themselves. They're unstable, right? So but the truth keeps catching up to them, right? And you could feel the pull. You could feel the pull. Who's after Libra? Scorpio. Little quick hit readings. 10, 10. Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Let's see. Let's find out what's happening with Scorpio. There's a lot of intense energy. 10 of Wands. This person, they haven't released you. You've known this person for a while. What's happening with Scorpio? They may be quiet, but emotionally they're still in it. They're emotionally still in it. Confirmation, right? So they don't want to be vulnerable, right? You're the most amazing person ever. I'm committed to making us a party. They don't want to feel exposed, right? So instead of expressing what they want to feel, they hold it in. They're mute, right? And you're losing interest, right? It's like you don't really. And what it's doing, it's creating this magnetic tension for them, right? Because you're pulling back, they're stuck, right? Scorpio, 11, 18, Sag. Let's find out. Sag. I'm hearing this person ran. You might have been dealing with a water sign. Somebody's money was messed up, right? But they ran because they cared, right? They cared too much. And they ran because you represented something real, right? Tower. They weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for that level of depth. So this person chose freedom. Let me get a few more for Sag. What up, Brandy? Yeah, this could be somebody who you might have been living with, right? It's like they want freedom without connection, right? The freedom without connection feels empty, right? Let's move on to Capricorn. 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 You're dealing with someone strategic, Capricorn. What time are we on? 10. Oh, 12:34. Yeah, you're dealing with somebody strategic. They're very calculated. Yeah, right. They're calculated, including in their silence, they're very calculating. So they're watching you, they're analyzing you, but they're trying to determine when or even if they should re-enter your life, right? Um, I've been dealing with an Aries. There was a painful ending here, right? They don't want to. They don't want to come back unless they feel like they could win, right? They don't want to come back unless they feel like they could win. And right now, they're not sure if they can come back. They're not sure if they can. Aquarius, I'm gonna keep jumping from these different decks. Hold up. So let's move on to Aquarius. Yeah, this person is detached. You might be dealing with a player, but not emotionally. They're physically detached, right? They're physically detached, Aquarius. So they create a distance to avoid dealing with what they feel, right? So the connection never actually ended, right? It just slowed down, right? It just went underground. It went underground. And now what's happening is it's resurfacing, right? And thoughts and dreams, like you could feel the connection resurfacing, Aquarius. Um, so they don't know how to process it. All right, let's move on to the final one, Pisces. 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 I'm hearing this person regrets how things ended. Red flags. This is could be somebody very immature, but they're stuck. Why? Because there's deep regret, right? And you promised yourself you'd never date someone like them again, right? They may have promised themselves they'd never date someone like them again because they don't know how to fix it, right? They feel like too much damage has been done, right? They watch you. This is somebody who was abusive to you, right? Um, you knew you didn't deserve to be treated like this, Pisces, right? But you were acting out of a pattern of abuse or they were that was rooted in them, right? But they still hope you'll meet them halfway. It could be the same sex, doesn't have to be, Pisces. So this person's holding back because a lot of damage has been done. I forgot to put the time for Pisces. It's okay. But none of these connections ended because there was no love, right? They ended because someone someone wasn't emotionally equipped, right, to handle what was real, right? They weren't equipped for that. So the energy's shifting, right? The energy's shifting right now, right? Let's do a quick collective message while we're at it. Let's go. Yeah, and you're realizing that this is somebody who got jealous because they were struggling with their own insecurities, right? You guys had a lot of differences in perspective and priority that made the relationship challenging, right? It made it challenging, right? Yeah, this person was a hot mess. They were a hot mess. But it's like they're saying nobody made them laugh the way you did, right? You made this person laugh. That chain looking big, dog. Boundaries. Yeah, you put up boundaries. This person pushed your boundaries, and it's like they're leaving it up to you if you're gonna let them in or not. Let me see the outcomes. Give me the outcome for the collective. Yeah, a lot of you are losing interest. Yeah, you're not dealing with mixed signals. You might have been dealing with somebody who was committed already. All right. But that was it for the all signs, guys. I'm gonna post this up right now. Like and share. Um, and then hit me with your let me know what these messages mean to you. And we'll do the next one this evening.